Am I a jerk for choosing my son's dog over my pregnant wife? When my son was 8 years old, his mother's died, and I got him a Great Dane dog to help him cope with the loss of his mother. They have been together for over 6 years now, and they are each other's best friend. What's incredible is that my son is a very responsible dog owner. He takes him out, he makes sure he feeds the dog, and makes sure the dog is clean and well groomed. And I just take care of all the veterinarian stuff, the things that my son can do. The dog is pretty much his best friend. My wife is 12 weeks pregnant, and ever since we confirmed the pregnancy, she has been acting weird around the dog. She avoids him, puts her hand over her stomach whenever he's around, and jolts whenever the dog makes a noise. Today, she told me she wants to rehome the dog. I asked her, "What's the problem and what are you talking about?" She said that she has anxiety that the dog will jump on her. This is completely unreasonable. He doesn't jump on people. At early age, we trained him not to jump on people or run into very young children because he's a Great Dane, and I felt it was very important for all dogs, especially one who could possibly grow into such a large size, which he did. But there is no reason for her to think the dog will jump on her since we trained him at early age and he never did it since then. She said that there's no way to know for sure that the dog won't just jump on her. And if the dog does, it could hurt the baby. This dog has never as much growled at her. He's been loving and soft and gentle around her whole time she's been with me. She said even if the dog doesn't jump on her, her anxiety is bad for her health as well as potentially the baby's health. She said she needed the dog elsewhere for her safety and the baby's. I told her there's no way. My son got this dog after he lost his mom and imprinted on him hard. Sometimes I think he loves the dog more than me. So I decided I am not rehoming this dog. The dog did nothing. My wife says I'm prioritizing the dog over her pregnancy and our new child. The dog isn't a threat to her pregnancy. If this was another unreasonable request, I would just do it because she is pregnant. I just can't break my son's heart over fear that does not make any sense. So I have to ask, am I a jerk for choosing my son's dog over my wife's request and for the baby? For our next story is titled, Am I the jerk for moving into my son's rental apartment after finding out that his dad's been canceling his job applications? My son, let's call him Aiden, is 23 years old and moved back in with us upon graduating college as my husband wanted. My husband's original plan is to have Aiden live with us for free, but stay home and help with his disabled younger brother who's 16 years old. However, Aiden started complaining about needing money and wanting to find a job. My husband was against this and even offered to double his allowance, but Aiden was growing tired of staying at home all the time. So he began looking for jobs here and there for over a year, but none of his job applications came through. He's just applied and never get back to him. We were confused by this until recently. I found out my husband was behind all the job applications being canceled. He would wait for Aiden to apply to a job, then proceeds to cancel the application by impersonating him and using his email. When I found out about this, I blew up on my husband. His explanation and justification is that he's just trying to make sure that our younger son is cared for by Aiden, and said Aiden has been a big help and him getting a job will affect his care for our younger son. I went ahead and rented an apartment for Aiden and told him to stay there till he finds a job and starts paying it for himself. Our son Aiden was hurt by knowing what his dad did. However, my husband was livid when he found out what I did. He called me unhinged and said I was separating the boys and teaching Aiden to become selfish and to care more about the job than the actual family. He also said that it was a huge decision for me to rent an apartment without even running it by him. He's been giving me hell and calling me a terrible mother for encouraging Aiden to be selfish and self-centered. He said I needed to see and understand why he did what he did. So I have to ask, am I a jerk for doing this? Our next story is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my parents that they ruined New Year's celebration after they kicked out my husband over a joke. I've been married to my second husband, Mike, for 4 years now. He's a jokester and loves to crack jokes all the time. He especially likes to joke with my brother, Ethan, and his wife. Ethan used to be okay with it until he started complaining about Mike taking it too far with his jokes. Just for some extra context, my brother Ethan, he and his wife couldn't have kids, so they adopted a boy, his name is Joey, 2 years ago. Mike's been making silly, lighthearted jokes that involve Joey's biological parents as a way to mess with Ethan and his wife. I already talked to Mike, and I tell you that he 100% means no harms with his jokes. He's just trying to get them to react to his crazy comments. So fast forward to New Year's Eve. My parents hosted a big celebratory dinner, and Ethan and his wife came. While we were eating dinner, Mike decided to tell a knock-knock joke to Ethan. He says, "Knock, knock." Ethan laughed and said, "Who's there?" Mike replied, "Joey's biological parents," then busted out laughing. Silence took over, and Ethan's facial expression changed. His wife called Mike an idiot, to which Mike replied, "Hey, relax, it's just a joke." An argument ensued at dinner, and everything was paused. My parents suddenly told Mike to leave, which I thought was too harsh. I tried to speak to them and get them to calm down, but my mom insisted that Mike leaves. We left, and Mike was complaining the whole time about how they all overreacted. I called my mom later, and she told Mike that he was out of line with his hurtful jokes about a touchy topic. And my mom told me I was wrong for defending my husband, and I responded that Mike is just joking. She said he ruined New Year's for our family, but I told her that it was her and Dad who ruined New Year's celebration for escalating the situation and getting him kicked out. I told her he could talk to them, but again, they were the one who ruined New Year's celebration. She called me delusional for this statement and hung up. We haven't talked to my parents for days, and I tried to contact my brother Ethan, but no response. So, am I a jerk for saying that my brother and his wife and both my parents ruined New Year's celebration for kicking my husband Mike out over a joke? For our last story today, am I a jerk for telling my husband he exaggerated when he said my kids ruined his daughter's birthday? Last week it was my stepdaughter's 14th birthday. She was in the hospital days prior for a medical issue, and she's doing a lot better now. My husband threw her a small birthday party to celebrate. Unbeknown to me, my boys, who are 16 and 12, decided to pull a prank and mess with her birthday cake that they made for her. Instead of adding icing on the cake, they added mayonnaise. It didn't go well when my stepdaughter's reaction was to cry. My husband blew up at the boys for what they did, and they said they were trying to prank her since it was normal that they always do pranks on each other. My husband said it was a wrong time to do this, especially on her birthday after she got out of the hospital. He told the boys they ruined her birthday, but I told him he over-exaggerated with this statement. He got upset and yelled at me for defending this behavior of my kids. I don't think I'm an enabler, because the boys love her, and they act like this, but my husband says they were having none of it. Both he and my stepdaughter aren't speaking to me nor the boys. So, am I a jerk for saying my husband over-exaggerated that my boys ruined my stepdaughter's birthday? Alright guys, don't forget to leave a comment below what you guys think about each of these stories of who's a jerk and who is not a jerk. And like the video and have notification enabled so you guys know when new stories come out. Check out the channel if there's some other stories that you guys may have missed out on. I'll see you guys next time.